Hey, what's up YouTube? You're watching Team APS, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys 7 tips to get the most out of your Yu-Gi-Oh experience. So what do I mean by this? Well, I think that with Yu-Gi-Oh, a lot of people just only play the game. They buy the cards, they trade with people, they go to their locals and play in tournaments, they kind of talk about it and things like that. But for a lot of people, they don't really do much more than that. They don't go above and beyond, and they don't really have any takeaways from this game. There's not really much for them to show when they quit playing. And so I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Being the social hobby that it is, can actually offer a lot more opportunities to really kind of, get something more out of it than just, I bought cards, I traded, I played, and then I quit. So here we go. My first suggestion is to collect something. So what does this mean? I don't mean, oh, get the new meta cards when they come out. They cost a lot of money, I want to get this deck so I can win. No, I mean pick a specific card that you like and just collect it, or a series of cards. So like you can be a number hunter or something. I've actually met people in real life who do that, who are just trying to collect all the number cards. I thought it was just a silly thing that the show was concerned with, but actually there are people who are trying to collect every number card, and sometimes it's tough when you've got things like Giant Hand, or even things like Big Eye when it was like $100. But, be the guy who tries to collect all the number cards. Or you don't have to be as ambitious. You can just collect maybe a common card that isn't useful, but it's just kind of funny or cool to you. Like, for example, a few years ago, I actually had a friend who collected Charcoal and Pachi. Random common card, just the fire monster with a lot of defense. Is vanilla, doesn't do anything special. But he collected them. He would just have a lot, like he ended up with, several dozen copies of it. He just put it in his binder, threw them all on like, the last several pages of his binder, then had them on the front page too. And it was just kind of his card. There was nothing special about it. There was no real reason. He just collected them. And I know another guy who collects Dragon's Treasure, the equip card, the really, really old one. I think it came out of like Legend of Blue Eyes or something really early like that. And he just collects them. There's not really any reason. He just likes dragon cards, and so he collects dragon treasures. And at this point, I think he's got like hundreds of the card. And so it's just kind of cool. There's nothing super important about doing this, but it just kind of lets you have something that you focus on besides just building decks and playing with people and trading for cards you need and just trading stuff away. It's something that you keep consistently, and I think that's actually really cool. The next tip is to customize. Do something that kind of makes you stand out. Don't just be the guy who uses another sneak peek playmat or regional playmat. Go above and beyond. Make your own playmat. There are loads of websites on the internet where you can just submit a design and get a high quality playmat printed. You can custom draw your own playmat on like just a blank colored one, like a white one or whatever. You can, even if you don't necessarily make your own, just get a custom playmat from somebody else who maybe has one. And it doesn't just stop at playmats. You can also make custom like token cards. I've seen some really, really cool token cards. I've seen different ones from different animes, and you can custom make those as well. Like I've seen like Super Mario tokens, just crazy stuff like that. And last but not least, there are even people who do like, extended card art. It was a popular thing a long, long time ago with like Dragon Duelist Girl and Value Enthusiast on YouTube, just, doing card alterations and extended art cards where like the art goes beyond the little square. And those are really, really cool. And, you can find those online and buy them, or if you're really good, you can make them yourself or learn how to make them yourself. And doing this kind of adds a bit of uniqueness. So you're not just another player using another deck that's just the same on another mat, with the same sleeves and cards and everything like that. It's a little bit more fun to just kind of put a little bit of yourself into the game. I think that's actually really important. The next tip is actually to watch the anime. So this is going to sound a little bit weird for some people, but believe it or not, I think a lot of people got into Yu-Gi-Oh! By watching the anime when they were like kids and got really interested in it, but nowadays nobody really watches it. And I admit the anime isn't really like, by anime standards, really all that great, but it's kind of fun to watch. Sometimes just gotta get with your friends, watch it. Don't take it too seriously, just have a bit of a laugh. But I always enjoy watching it because I like to see how they just sort of butcher all the effects and all the rules and, go crazy, like attacking the moon with Giant Soldier of Stone, or like the whole Mammoth Graveyard inflicting a virus onto Blue Eye's Ultimate Dragon and making it melt. Like, it was just weird stuff. Like, but that's the thing. Watching anime is actually really fun. It's just fun to go back and look at it and see how silly it is. And that even includes the new ones. We recently watched like Yu-Gi-Oh! Art 5, and like I've been watching a little bit of Zexal, stuff like that. Like, it's not necessarily the most fun thing to do. You kind of have to, go in it with a certain degree of low expectations. Maybe bring a friend or two along, you can laugh about it. But I think watching the anime really is just a good way to make sure you're kind of getting more of the full Yu-Gi-Oh experience. The next tip is to travel. Go to big Yu-Gi-Oh events. Don't be the guy who only goes to locals every weekend of the week or the year, but doesn't ever actually travel anywhere. It is a lot of fun to travel in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a lot of fun to go somewhere a few hours away or even longer and go to a regional, go to a YCS, go to a Comic-Con where they're having like Yu-Gi-Oh! They've been doing that a lot recently. Because those are the types of places where you meet new people, get better cards, find new things, and it's fun, it's enjoyable. You will legitimately, I guarantee you when you go to those Yu-Gi-Oh! Events, you will find something you just don't find at your locals. The fact that if there's a card you're looking for, it's there. Either a vendor has it or somebody in the room's got it. There are hundreds or thousands of people, and that's just a really big deal. And you get to play in like fun side events, like Attack of the Giant card or like Win-A-Mat, things like that. It's just there's so many more Yu-Gi-Oh people. I think that that's great. So instead of going to your locals where you've got a dozen or a few dozen people, you go to this place where you've got hundreds or thousands of other Yu-Gi-Oh players. It's just bound to be somebody who's interested in the same things you are, and it's just a great experience because when you travel you also get to see new places in real life. Like you actually get to see, kind of be a tourist for a while and like go and like eat at cool places or shop at a cool place. That type of thing is actually really fun to me. The next tip is to play alternative forms of Yu-Gi-Oh. What you should do is, instead of just playing like standard format every day, try playing like sealed draft or whatever. Like, use battle packs and play sealed. And if you can't necessarily afford it yourself, try to convince the TO at your locals to do that one Saturday or whenever you play. Or play tag. Tag's a lot of fun. Tag is actually something that I had the idea of bringing to my locals a long time ago. Not that long ago. And we played it and we really enjoyed it. Tag dueling's a lot of fun. It's a lot different. You can also play, traditional format, Yu-Gi-Oh, GOAT, those kinds of things. I mean, even if you don't necessarily play them every week because they can get a little bit stale, it's just a lot of fun to play those kinds of formats. It gives you a fresh, new, different perspective on how to play the game instead of just, I'm playing meta decks, and spending money, and all that stuff. It's just a lot more fun to play these kinds of things. They usually result in a lot more laughs, a lot more like friendly interaction. There's not as much salt when you lose in like a sealed battle pack draft tournament or a tag tournament as there is when you're just kind of 1v1 Necroz versus Necroz. You know what I mean? Like, it's just more fun that way. The next tip is to take on some sort of a leadership role in your community, whether that's, being your local judge, being your local TO, tournament organizer, becoming a vendor, or even just being the guy who helps new people out. All of those roles and more can just be a lot of fun. I think that I've dabbled in like kind of all four of those to some degree. I think it's really, really fun to just like, instead of being the guy just playing in the tournaments, be the guy who runs the tournaments, learn how to use the KTS software, or, be a judge, learn some rulings, learn kind of the tournament policy documents so you can know things, be a vendor and kind of try to like make a profit off of Yu-Gi-Oh! And rip people off. I don't really condone that, but you know what I mean. And the most fun actually is to just be kind of the teacher, the guy who, when a new kid walks into the local card shop with his parents, doesn't really know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, be the person who teaches them and explains to them how to play and, what kind of works, what doesn't, why, they're losing, but how they can get better, things like that. You'll feel a lot better if you kind of take on an apprentice even, like somebody you can really help improve at Yu-Gi-Oh, because then that way, even if you quit, it's kind of like you've left a piece of yourself in the game. And that sounds really cheesy, but it's true. Just, help people out. That kind of thing makes you a lot more involved than just being another player who just plays and that's all they really care about. And the final tip is to make some friends. Make some lifelong friends. Make some real friends. Don't just have friends who you walk into locals, you say hi to them, you trade with them, you play with them, you leave. Actual friends that you are not afraid to talk to about things that are not Yu-Gi-Oh, or go out with and have some fun. Through Yu-Gi-Oh, I've made a lot of friends, and I mean, maybe not all of them I necessarily talk to every day, but I also have a small handful of friends I've made in Yu-Gi-Oh who I really do consider real friends, and I think that they feel the same way. I think it's a lot more fun when you've got people who you can, not always just have to talk about play testing or meta cards or new releases. Someone you can actually go to the movies with, or go skating or bowling, or just like real life things. There's more to life than Yu-Gi-Oh, and when you meet people in Yu-Gi-Oh that you can actually call your friends, it's a lot more fun. It makes the Yu-Gi-Oh part of things more fun and more bearable when you know, things inevitably get stressful in Yu-Gi-Oh, because they do. And it also means that, you know, in real life, you've got somebody to fall back on, and you know what I mean? Like, so that way, even when you maybe quit Yu-Gi-Oh, you still got friends you made in Yu-Gi-Oh that you hang out with on a regular basis and just do normal things. And I think that's a lot of fun. So anyways, those are my 7 tips for getting the most out of your Yu-Gi-Oh experience. It varies from person to person, and you know, granted, there are like loads of other things you can do, but I really just think that not enough people do these types of things. Not enough people try to get the most out of playing Yu-Gi-Oh. A lot of people seem like they are just kind of only concerned with playing, getting cards, trading, and just kind of rinse repeat. But I think that if you do these things, follow these tips, you'll get a lot more out of Yu-Gi-Oh. So just kind of as a recap, you know, collect things, customize, go to events, watch the anime, meet new people, play alternative forms of Yu-Gi-Oh, and take a leadership role on. And I don't think I missed anything, so that's going to conclude the video, but I also want to hear from you guys in the comments. What are different ways you would suggest to people to get the most out of their Yu-Gi-Oh experience? Fun things that are a bit left field, not commonly done, the road less taken, if you will. Let's hear about it, leave it in the comments. And remember to follow me on social networks, Facebook, Twitter, other things like that, Twitch. I live stream. Enter my giveaway that's down in the description. You can win one of 2 Megatons I'm giving away this month. And I think that's gonna be it. So subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.